Well, hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to the call for this evening, our sales call for our genius community, and we appreciate you
Yeah,
being here. And I'm Charles Harper, and this is
Dwayne Golden Jr. And I also want to welcome you guys. I know some of you guys are wondering what is this thing all about. So you guys are seeing us for the first time. You just got Genius Trainer Pro. I want to welcome you. And for everyone else who's here tonight, you guys know what this is all about. This is a training that Charles and I are doing. Usually Dwayne Sr.'s on here, but he missed a flight, so he's not going to make it. But what this is all about is teaching you guys the art of making the sale, whether that's in person, whether that's on your website, whatever it is, because that's a topic people don't talk about. They'll talk about list building, they'll talk about conversions and all this other stuff, but when it comes down to it, money's made when a sale is made. So this is our last part of our sales series, and yeah, I want to welcome all you guys.
yeah. Now, one of the things that I know I've experienced as a marketer, exactly what Dwayne said, which is we talk about everything else, and we talk about the technical things. We talk about, all the things that it takes to make a page, but actually what you say and how you get into that is really important. And one of the things I really want to do, both of us have had different experiences in terms of sales. And I know that Dwayne has had it not only in the online world, he's also had it in the offline world with people face to face, as they say, belly to belly. And so, thinking about this time of year, Dwayne, you go back all the way back to the car business, even as a young man. I want you to kind of go back to that first, like that first real lesson that you learned, like after when you got it right. What was the first real thing that you went back at and you look back on, you say, that was the thing that made a difference in terms of me being able to sell more, even in the car business at that?
Wow, that's an easy question for me to answer. The first thing I learned, or the biggest thing I think I learned from the car business, was the type of language I use. When I started assuming that every person I got in contact with was leaving the dealership with a car, it changed the way I spoke. So instead of, hey, come on and take a test drive later and maybe we'll go inside and fill out some paperwork, I would say, let's test drive this car now. That way, by the time you guys are ready to leave with this new car, I would always use language as if they already bought it. This car's already yours. It's a done deal. Forget about it. When I started using that kind of like expectation type of language, it really helped me out. And we use the same kind of stuff today in internet marketing on our websites. Here's what you're going to get once you guys actually get on the inside of Genius Trainer Pro. You can expect this, and this. It's all about talking as if they're already, and you know for a fact that they're going to get it. I think that's a huge part of it because it messes with people psychologically. For something that already sounds appealing, if you start speaking to them as if you know that they're going to get it, it's going to make them want it even more.
Now, Dwayne, I know, one of the things that we do a lot when we get ready, even getting JVs on board, is we do demos.
Right.
And I know that's important too, right? Would you say that, even sometimes, even in the car business, just like it is in our business, getting people into it, right, is important, getting them to feel it and all that stuff?
Yeah. Like for example, in the car business, you can't let a customer leave without making them take a test drive at least, because that's half of the battle. Once they get in the car and feel what it feels like to sit on those leather seats, your chances are so much higher on selling a vehicle than if you just have them sit in your office and do nothing but paperwork. So in the internet marketing business, it's the same way. You wonder why guys like Han Fan, Mike from Maine, and all these guys have such great conversions. It's because they do the demo. So what I like to do whenever I'm selling a product, I like to do live webinars and show people the inside. Look how cool this is. Look what you're going to be able to do once you get started. So when people can see and, see what actually the product does, it's that much more powerful for them. So demos are huge.
And, it's funny, you mentioned those two guys. They have always done the best, not only with us, they do the best with everybody's stuff. And would you say it has a lot to do with the fact that they really do take time, not only to know the people that they're selling to, but they really know the product once they actually start opening up their mouth?
Oh man, that's huge. Yeah, they even before our interviews, usually we spend a while just making sure they understand the product and they get their questions answered. That way, when it comes time for them to demo it, they know right the back of their hand. So I think that's a huge part of it. So guys, whether it's you're selling an ebook, PLR product, take the time to learn what it is that you have, and try your best to present the value in a way where you can use an expectative, if that's even the right language I'm using here. Use expectation in all of your language, so expect people to buy and use that in your copy.
And the stuff that I've either owned it, and sometimes somebody will give me a demo, sometimes somebody will give me a review copy, but sometimes they don't. And even if they don't, I'm not going to depend on that. If I'm really going to promote a product that's not mine, let's say if it's not mine, I'm going to take the time to know it, and I'm going to buy it in order to get to know it. And so I think part of what Dwayne is saying is you really do have to be able to know something from the inside out so that you don't sound like, a robot. And, I know we talk about, Dwayne Sr. talks about not using swipes all the time, just taking somebody else's language and then trying to put that out to the people that you're selling to. Right. You really do have to know it. Would you say that, Dwayne?
No, that's a huge part of it. And then, once you actually know the product, then you can get into the different sales strategies that's used within ad copy. One of the biggest things you'll notice on all of our pages, we use something called the price drop. Everyone shows the regular value pricing and then the sale pricing. That's not, the full price drop. The price drop is a process that your customer goes through while they're reading your copy. So for example, we'll mention that, hey, we should be charging $299 for this, but it's not even going to cost you $250, or we could probably sleep like babies if we sold it for $199, but it's not even going to cost you $199. And you keep reading, and we'll go the whole way down. And we thought about selling it for $100. Not even going to do that. For a limited time only, we're going to sell this for $37. You walk the people down slowly through your pricing till you get to your bottom pricing. That process you'll find will boost your conversions that much more. Same thing we do in the car business. You show them the crazy price first. They give them the sticker shock. That's what they call it. The pricing, when you go to a car lot, you're going to buy yourself a new Cadillac or Mercedes. The MSRP sticker on the car is nothing but a starting point. Then they're going to price drop you the whole way down.
Okay. And more than likely, probably even some of those people, and it does, some of this kind of goes back to even having some relationships with those people, because I know that some of the people that probably do the best, in the car business are people who have people to call them up, that you're not really dependent on, newspaper ads. You're not dependent on, the radio ad. A lot of times you're probably dependent on people you establish relationships with, and all of a sudden they have a need for a car and they're calling.
Right. No, that's so true. And I'm curious, how many of you guys out there have ever noticed on any sales pages what I'm talking about as far as the price drop? If you've ever seen a price drop happen, whether on a webinar or on a sales page, I want you to type in the number 1 right now. Okay, so if you guys understand what I'm saying, go ahead, type in the number 1 if you see a price drop out there on a web copy, because that's a huge part of why our stuff converts so well. People warned us, don't launch in December. Don't launch your new product in December because people don't buy anything in December. I heard it. It went in one ear and out the other because they're completely wrong. We were the top seller in JV Zoo for 3 days out of the 4 days we were launching in December. So I don't let people discourage you. If you know what you're doing and you have a system and you can use stuff like the price drop and you know your product, you're doing demos, this stuff is going to really, really help you guys. So, oh, wow, I see a lot of you guys have noticed the price drop. So what I want to say this to you, as all you guys are typing number 1, you guys have seen the price drop work and you guys actually went and bought the product because it was done properly. You have to start and determine and brainstorm how you can implement that in your own products. What is it that you're selling right now? How can you begin to use demos like Charles and I were just speaking about? How can you begin to use the price drop? How much wiggle room do you have in your pricing? You don't want to just hop on webinars and hear different strategies and never use them. So I just want to encourage you guys to make sure, I know it's Christmas time, everybody's taking off time for the holidays, but take this information, brainstorm after this webinar, because it's going to be short. We're going to be closing shortly because I know people have things to do this time of year, but take time out later tonight, or if it's afternoon, wherever you are in the world, take time out, brainstorm how you can implement all of this stuff in your own business.
And some of it's going to take you out of your comfort zone. The
Yeah.
first time you learn it and the first time you do it, it's not going to feel quite right. And I think I saw somebody write in up there that every time they see it, it kind of makes you cringe a little bit. And that's really because it kind of makes you kind of feel like, oh, can I really say that? But what happens is if you don't say it, unfortunately, people don't, if they don't go through the process, you're not really helping them to justify the purchase, right? Everybody is buying what they want. And when they get down to that point in the sales page, or if they get down to that point in the process where they're buying a car, whatever they're buying, you have to help them, right? They want to buy it, but they're fighting it. They can't justify it. And if you don't take them through the process, unfortunately, they don't go the next step. And if you don't help them, they won't do that. And you might feel uncomfortable taking them through that. But again, that is really work to help you to make more sales.
Yeah, and you know what? It's bigger than just making that one sale or those few sales using the price drop. It's important that your customers understand the value of what you have. If
Right.
you only have listed your small one-time price, they're not going to think it's worth anything. To us, our pricing was legit. You look at Genius Trainer Pro, we told you the price is jumping up $27 a month or $197 one time. It's not just a price drop. It's not just hot air. It's the truth. It was discounted for 4 days.
It was.
It's a price drop that worked because it's honest. I'm not saying be unethical here. If your product's
Right.
not worth $300, don't say it is. You know, be ethical while you're doing it, but it's important that your customers understand the value. So I get it. If you're cringing, just make sure you understand the value of your product. If it's not worth 197, don't tell them it is, and you don't have to worry about cringing. Understand, respect the process, and it will work for you. Okay, and then make sure you're always being honest and ethical. I hope that I don't have to tell you guys this. Don't tell people your product is worth $5,000 if it's only worth $20, because people are going to know this. Okay. So I didn't think I had to say be ethical while you're doing it, but let me just throw that out there because I feel like that's where some of you guys are going.
No, but I mean, it happens a lot. Alex is asking, how do you help them? But it is taking people through the entire process. I mean, we talked on another call about having a headline. We talked about having that point of empathy, in the sales letter. We talked about taking them through benefits. There's a lot to this. We're actually all the way down in the sales letter. If you think about it, right? We're all process by telling you about this one thing, but you really do have to take them through the entire process in order to kind of help them to make the purchase that they really do want to make. And I think Dwayne is right. We see really the sales letter is really all about revealing the value. So you're really taking a long time to really uncover the value they don't know is there. You're taking the time to let them know that this really is worth, if you're saying it's 5,000, you have to be able to present to them. And I think that the rule is 10 times the value. You've got to be able to show them as much as you can, $50,000 worth of value. You've got to be able to show them 10 times the value, and you're taking that time in the sales process in order to do that.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And some of you guys are asking questions, how do you guys are wondering how you get good at this? You want to know the truth? What we do is, whether intentionally or unintentionally, I go back and I study other successful launches. I'll look at your page. This worked really well. I wonder why it worked well. I look at theirs, I compare it to mine, and I take certain things. I'm not talking about plagiarizing or taking someone else's content. That's not what I'm saying. But the concept, certain principles. Oh, I think really well when they showed income proof at the very beginning. When they talked about only features and benefits, and that's why this one worked. All of our launches, we looked at somebody else's launch, looked at why it worked, and then we took some of those things and made it our own for our launches. So I can't recommend enough. If you go out and buy Russell Brunson's book, what's it called? .com Secrets, he'll tell you about funnel hacking. It's not plagiarizing. You look at a funnel that's working, you take good things from that funnel or good things from that sales page, and you implement them into your own, not using the same exact language, but the concept. If you see someone's taking people through a process in a certain way where they talk about, their background and their story first, and then later on they talk about the features and benefits, and that worked well for that launch, then maybe you could try that strategy on your page. So I want to encourage you guys to be a student of the game. There's really short answers to this, other than this is what we do. I don't claim to be Mr. Genius. I mean, our products are named Genius, but I'm a college dropout. I am no genius. This stuff works. You know, I look out. It's not rocket science. This works. Let me try it. The end. Everybody does it. If you have an Android phone, what they did, they looked at the iPhone and was like, this is selling like crazy. Let me try and make my own version of the iPhone. Mm-hmm. Then it was the iPad. And then Android came out with their Surface, or Microsoft came out with their Surface. They looked at the iPad and said, hey, this thing is selling like crazy. Let me try to create my own iPad and make it better. So all I can tell you is this is what companies do. I'm not saying plagiarize or do anything shady, but you can take a concept, make it your own, and still be effective with it.
And if it made you want to buy it, that's a good one to study, right? If you got to the page and you were so excited, you thought, man, I really do have to have this. What was it that they did to get you to that point? What was it that they did to get you on their email list? What was it that they did to get you on that page? What was it that they did to get you to keep reading? What did they say in their video? What was their headline? All that stuff is stuff that you can study. And again, I think like Dwayne said, it's not rocket science, but it is really trying to look at what other people have done successfully and try to adapt that to what it is you're trying to do too.
Yeah, I don't want to go into too much detail about how we did that on all of our pages, but it's definitely what we did. We'll tell our copywriter, hey, I like this page's style. I want you to take these certain kind of things from it. Take this concept from it and run with it. So I'll look at another successful launch. This one sold a lot of copies because it's laid out like this. And I'll tell my copywriter, I want you to kind of replicate something like that. Obviously, don't take their copy. You don't want to take their words because that's unethical, but you can take a concept and, you know, apply it to your own product. And the same thing goes for ads. So for those of you guys who are in paid marketing, if you find yourself clicking on an ad, before you go ahead and click on it, screenshot it. Ask yourself, why does it make me want to click on it? And then try to create your own version of it for your product. I'm not saying you plagiarize or you take their picture or their even their title or subtitle, but the concept, why did it work? You know, this is all about funnel hacking. The stuff works. You know, Russell Brunson, that's where I learned it from. But, you know, if it ain't broke, there's no point in going and trying to reinvent the wheel. Doc, I know it's getting late. We said we're only going to be 20 minutes tonight. Is there any other thing you think we need to go over in this call tonight?
Yeah. So hopefully, guys, I mean, I think that this is giving you really enough to go and get started and to apply. I mean, you've got one principle that you can kind of now take and really kind of put into your business. And now it's the end of the year. You can start really looking at, again, don't give up on 2015. I mean, yeah, start planning for 2016. You still got the year end. I mean, those of you, if you're not having a year end sale, you still got time to plan one. And you've really got time to really play with that area in there after Christmas and New Year's, if that's what you want to do. So with that, thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope that this has been helpful for you. I think it has been. And Dwayne, you want to have any last words?
Yeah, last word, man. If you guys have an idea in your head, you're thinking about launching a product, you know, set yourself a deadline. And no matter what happens, make sure you get it done. If you are saying, hey, I got an idea for a product launch, you put a date on it, say January 1st, I want to have this product done. Bang, have it done. And then you want to have a marketing process. Stick to your deadlines. Don't sleep, whatever it takes to get the deal done, and it will happen for you. So that's all I got to say. I wish you guys happy Merry Christmas and wish you guys the best.
All right, so yeah, on behalf of Dwayne Sr., who is it's in the air someplace, Dwayne Jr. and myself, thank you, everybody. Have a great holiday, and we'll look to see you the next time. Take care.
See you guys.